Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to Liberty Times, Russian President Vladimir Putin stated today at the Kremlin that he believes the Ukraine conflict is approaching its end, though it remains a serious issue. Speaking after Russia's annual Victory Day parade, Putin noted that Western military aid to Ukraine continues to escalate confrontation with Russia. When asked about potential dialogue with Europe, Putin expressed a preference for former German Chancellor Gerhard Schroeder as an interlocutor. The Kremlin had previously indicated that European nations should initiate goodwill gestures, as they unilaterally severed ties with Moscow after the 2022 invasion. Putin further added that he would only agree to meet Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in a third country once all conditions of a potential peace agreement have been finalized, stressing that this should be the ultimate goal, not the talks themselves. According to Sinuanet, U.S. President Donald Trump informed Italian media, specifically Corriere della Sera, that he is still considering the relocation of U.S. troops from bases in Italy. Trump justified this by stating, "Italy was not there when we needed it." The report also noted Trump's refusal to comment on Iran's expected response to a U.S. peace proposal. In response to Trump's remarks, Italian Defense Minister Guido Crosetto expressed his inability to comprehend the reasoning behind such a move, highlighting Italy's active involvement with allied nations in preparing a mission focused on mine clearance and protecting maritime navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. Earlier reports from ANSA on May 1st indicated Trump's potential plans to reduce U.S. military presence in Spain and Italy, criticizing European allies for insufficient support in the U.S.-Israeli conflict against Iran. As of late 2025, Italy hosts approximately 12,700 active-duty U.S. troops, making it the second largest U.S. military presence in Europe. A tentative ceasefire between the United States and Iran appears to be holding one day after U.S. forces struck two Iranian oil tankers and military facilities in the Strait of Hormuz. This comes as Bahrain, a U.S. ally and host to the Fifth Fleet, announced the arrest of 41 individuals allegedly linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard, accused of collecting funds for terrorist operations. Iran issued a stern warning to Bahrain, cautioning against severe consequences and risking the permanent closure of the crucial Strait of Hormuz, which has been largely blocked by Iran since late February, causing a global spike in fuel prices. The U.S. military confirmed its blockade of Iranian ports has resulted in turning back 58 commercial ships and disabling 4 since April 13th. International efforts are underway, with Britain and France leading talks for a coalition to ensure freedom of navigation in the strait once a sustainable ceasefire is established. U.S. President Donald Trump maintains the ceasefire is active but threatens renewed bombing if Iran does not agree to terms for reopening the strait and curbing its nuclear program. Diplomatic channels, including Pakistan, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Qatar, are actively engaged in seeking a lasting peace deal. City News Everywhere reports on these developing international relations. Al Jazeera reports that Venezuela's acting president Delcy Rodriguez is en route to The Hague to participate in a land dispute case against Guyana before the International Court of Justice, ICJ. This trip marks Rodriguez's first departure from the Caribbean region since the abduction of President Nicolas Maduro by U.S. forces in January. The case centers on the oil-rich Essequibo region, a territory currently administered by Guyana but claimed by Venezuela. This expansive area, bordering eastern Venezuela, constitutes 2/3 of Guyana's landmass. The discovery of offshore oil by ExxonMobil in Essequibo has endowed Guyana, a nation with a population of less than 1 million, with the world's largest per capita crude oil reserves. The ICJ proceedings will address the validity of the 1899 border established under British colonial rule versus a 1966 document signed before Guyana's independence. Rodriguez, who was Maduro's vice president and previously faced U.S. sanctions, later lifted upon her interim presidency, is expected to receive special legal protections typical for officials attending ICJ cases. She has reportedly complied with certain U.S. demands, including halting oil shipments to Cuba and opening Venezuela's state oil industry to foreign entities, while also carefully managing relations with Venezuela's military and security apparatus. According to Al Jazeera, a Palestinian family in Jenin has reported that Israeli settlers compelled them to exhume and rebury their deceased father just hours after his funeral. The settlers asserted that the cemetery land was part of the nearby Sa-Nur settlement. This incident has drawn strong condemnation from the UN Rights Office, which described it as symptomatic of a broader trend of dehumanization of Palestinians in the region. The forced relocation of the burial highlights the ongoing tensions and territorial disputes between Palestinian communities and Israeli settlers in the occupied West Bank. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.